Okay, I'm trying to make an attic insulation illustration. This is the insulation tube. This is the little room. There's a white window and a pink room with the, two walls cut out. There's a little rug and an orange switch to point the user to click it. And when it clicks, this insulation tube pops up and the attic insulation starts coming out of the tube. Let me see here. It's not one to work for me right now. I guess the battery's really low, but normally there would be insulation blowing into this attic portion and the insulation would fill up, covering the text. Now, let's see if I can get it to work. Huh. I wonder. Okay, here we go. So, insulation's pouring out and it fills up the attic to where you can't see it. Then whenever you click this button or this switch, the orange switch again, the tube goes back to normal, the insulation goes down. I want to implement this with what Google Gemini has made for me, where we can simulate the exterior temperatures. I don't want it to look like this. I want it to look like this. Attic insulation, yada, yada, yada. So when we come over here, there should be 3 controls. One's gonna be the exterior temperature. It's gonna go from -10 to 115 degrees. That's going to simulate outside the house temperatures. Then the R value, when you adjust the R value is going to bring the attic insulation up or down, okay? So instead of the switch, we'll have a control up here at the right, or maybe even in the middle. We can bring the R value up and this hose will do the little animation you've seen and fill up the attic. The other portion is the air leakage. So you can turn up the air leakage and particles start to come out of the ceiling. So if we're at 20 air changes per hour at an ACH 50, 20 air changes per hour at 50 pascals, it's gonna be really leaky. The interior is gonna leak into the attic, right? Now, the exterior temperature will correspond with the air leakage. For instance, if it's -10, you've got cold temperatures in the attic and warm temperatures in your house, inside, right? So the cold temperatures are going to suck the air, the conditioned air, into the attic, okay? But it wouldn't if the air leakage was at 1 air change per hour. You would have little to no air leaks going into the attic, regardless if the temperature is 115 or -10. Now, say you do have 20 air changes per hour at 50 pascals, and it's 115 degrees outside or in your attic. Then you have this hot air pushing into the interior, or the interior is sucking the attic. These little particles would go the other way. And that would be if you have 20 ACH at 115. You see what I'm saying? Or -10. They react with each other. Now this R value thing is just gonna illustrate that even if you have an R60, you're still going to have air leakage if you have no attic ventilation. Let's say you have 0% attic ventilation, and your attic is going to get super heated in the summer. It's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's just going to push itself into the interior. Does that make sense? Regardless of, R0 or R60, it might slow it down barely. But if we have 100% ventilation, even with the air leaks and the exterior temperatures difference, it should alleviate a lot of that sucking or the stack effect, so to speak. So I want to implement both. I want to do this. There should be 3: exterior temperature, air leakage. Actually, I like the 4. That makes sense because they all correspond with each other, and it needs to be scientifically correct. So, can you help me?